Hey friends out there in YouTube land, Robert Hamm here with Robert Hamm Photography. Today I'm joined by my son. We're actually going to do a portrait tutorial for you here in Red Wing Park. Now you guys know that I like to photograph here quite a bit. This kind of a mixed lighting environment makes it difficult to get a consistent exposure. So how do you do it? And that's what today's video is about. So let's go ahead and get started. Come on, Robert.
Okay.
All right, friends, as you can see, we've got this beautiful area right here. Lots of times people enjoy taking a picture or a family portrait here on this man-made waterfall and rock enclosure that looks really great. However, although I like that shot, when we've got a time of day like this where the lights really come in from the background, it's beautiful to use this backdrop of azaleas and beautiful green maple leaves in order to highlight this shadow area right there where my son's sitting. Wave hi, Robert. The thing you'll also get by using just one simple flash in here is the reflection of the water. So you'll get these beautiful highlight tones repeated in the water once again, and that's what I'm really excited to share with you. So, let's do it. Yeah. All right, now we've kind of framed up this shot so that you can see a little bit of what we're going for. Robert's over there in the center, and he's actually kind of subdivided halfway. In the final shot, I'm actually going to put him more in the top third using the rule of thirds right here and have this nice diagonal. What I want to show you right now is just how beautiful the pinks are coming through and the blue reflecting from the sky and the actual water itself. It's absolutely gorgeous. What you'll notice in this water right here is we get an almost perfectly symmetrical position and picture. However, over upon the side, you'll see that there's quite a bit of highlights, and that's what we're looking at right now. Now, that's the reason that we need to use our neutral density filter as well as our flash. Now, what we're going to do with that ND filter is actually bring out the highlights so that they're balanced with the shadows quite a bit better. The flash is then going to go in and illuminate everything else, so it's real nice. And just so you can get a kind of a context, this is where I'll be shooting right here. So I'm shooting in that diagonal right there. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to zoom back in over here on the flash so that you can see where we like to go, and let me get this set up and we'll be right back. All right, friends, as you can see, Robert is set up over here in the corner, and you've noticed I've got my camera ready to go. I have done a couple different things inside of here. Number one, we've gone into a very shady area, so you'll notice I've moved my ISO up to about 640, as well as I've used my neutral density filter. Now, you might say, Rob, why would you use your ND filter? You can just use less ND filter and then chuck down your ISO, and the answer is yes, you can exactly do that. So if we come down here to an ISO of 100 and we chuck down our ISO, our neutral density filter more like to 2 stops or 3 stops right there, 2.5 stops, we get the same effect. And the point of this is to share with you that your neutral density filter and your ISO work interchangeably. In fact, all of these things affect exposure, your aperture, your shutter speed, your ISO, the neutral density filter. Any of those things are interchangeable. If you move one up, you can move another one down and have the same commensurate exposure. If you didn't know that, there's a pro tip. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's look at this shot again. Robert, like we said, we've got him on this 1/3. I like that right here. We're opened all the way up with our aperture to 1.8. We're at 1/200th of a second. That's going to help stop any ripples on the water that we might see, which make them look real nice and give the water a little bit of character. If we wanted the water to be even more smooth like glass, we could drop our shutter speed more. But then things like camera shake and Robert moving would come into play, especially since we're using flash. That would help a little bit, but we're not going to get into too much of that. Let's actually look at this picture. I'm going to punch in real quick so that we can see where my focus point is. And I got to come over here. I'm moving the focus point to my son now, and you're going to notice that, goodness gracious, it's really hard to see Robert, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and brighten this up a lot. I'm going to punch in real quick to my focusing point, and that's going to allow me to then see, everything's looking good. We also are getting a lot of green in here, so we're going to want to remember to go ahead and adjust. Robert, please look at me. Don't look around. I'm focusing on your eye. We're going to have to remember to adjust for the white balance. In fact, I might even take this down by, there we go, 1 stop down. I'm using, yeah, that did a lot better. What I was looking at here was how soft everything is. That is part of the viewfinder here, but also we're open real wide in a very, very low contrast situation. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring the ISO back down to where it was supposed to be. All right, right there. and we're going to go ISO 100. Now, I've turned the flash off just to show you what kind of an image you would take naturally in this situation. There you go. And as we look at that should pop up on screen. We've got beautiful color tones. We see the reflections. Robert's completely dark. Now, I've gone ahead and taken, and let's take another shot. So we boost the ISO so that you would see what you would see. Take that picture. Boom, now we can see Robert. We have a green cast because we're not controlling the color. We've got big, real big blown out pictures all over the place. Let's go ahead and turn on the flash. Here I'm going to use 1 power over 1 power. In this case, I'm going to use 24mm zoom. That's going to spread the flash across the entire frame. Drop this back down to 100. Okay, and because we're underneath here, let's go ahead and get our white balance. We're going to take our white balance, and I think what we're going to want to do with that is, actually I like where we are. I like where we are right now. I'm even going to drop it into the magentas a little more to accentuate some of the pinks, and we're going to the blues, and we're ready to see it happen. So everybody's ready. Robert, on 3, 1, 2, and 3. Big, beautiful shot. Let's see what we've got. And that is absolutely gorgeous. We can see we've got the highlight detail in the background. We can see the azaleas. There's wonderful detail in the rocks. We can see through the water. We've stopped the water completely. We're looking right here. We can see the gorgeous reflection. We've got blue from the sky in the reflection of the water and a smiling sun. Son, I want you to kind of move to an L shape, kind of just turn your position a little bit and extend your legs out a little bit, please. Yeah, like that. And now you're looking at the water. Yeah, just like that. I like that a lot. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. I like this again. Okay, I'm going to punch in and check focus on that last shot. I'll let you know when I'm ready, Robert. Let's check focus on that last shot just to make sure everything was where we wanted it. Moving over here, it looks like Robert was a little bit off for my focus. I'm glad I checked that out. So I'm going to punch in again right there, and I'm actually just going to open up my ISO a little bit so I can punch in and get that nice focus that I want. This has to be done real slowly. Robert, look straight at me. Okay. Now we are using a vintage lens, and in this situation I'm feeling like we're getting pretty much as we're going to get out of it right now. So let's just go with it. I've stopped it down a little bit already. I'm going to stop it down some more. See what we can't see. Right there. Okay, now we're really getting that up. Okay, now stopping it down. Now we've gone down to 2.8, and that's going to just allow me to sharpen his eyes up just a little bit. Yeah, that worked out a lot better for me. Okay, now we had to make that little adjustment. Because we went down to 2.8, I'm actually going to pull my throttle down just a little bit and allow my ISO to ride right there. That should regain that one stop of light that we lost. Okay, Robert, looking out that way. Extend your front leg forwards a little bit more. There you go. Okay, on 3, we're going to do the picture. 1, 2, and 3. Nice, nice, nice. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Yeah, that looks really nice. We can still see that we need to compensate for a little bit more light. We can bring this up just a little bit, but let's go ahead and check that focus. Yeah, much, much better. Yeah, right on now. Excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do, we can't necessarily make the flash brighter. Of course, we could make the flash more condensed. We could zoom it in some, but instead, we're just going to do the easy thing. I'm going to raise the ISO up to about 1 stop to ISO 200. Robert, are you ready?
Yeah.
Get that same position as you were last time. There we go. 1, 2, other hand on your knee. Yep, just like that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. And let's see what we got. Yeah, that did it. See? Do you see the difference between? There we go. That's exactly what we want. I like this quite a bit. Come on up over here, Robert. Let's talk about this, guys. What do you think, son?
I think that was a good photo shoot.
I think we had a good time. Today we've been looking at just 2 simple shots using 1 light flash and a neutral density filter in order to really just make some outstanding photos. We haven't even covered all the different shots here in this one small location. I guess there are a couple of tips that I think you need to look for. Number 1 is get yourself a Robert. If you've got a great kid like this right here, then you can make awesome videos and everything will look good. So I want to thank you so much for helping me out, son.
You're welcome.
Just get out there and have a good time. Look for interesting situations, take a different vantage, different angle, and look for natural shapes in nature. We like lines, so look for a good location with good lines and good light, and you're going to be right along the way. The number 3 things that we did today that made everything work nicely for us was we used a simple flash to fill the light. Lots of times we chose to shoot backlit, and we chose to outdo the sun with a neutral density filter. We also were able to shoot with our camera's flash sync speed. There was no high-speed sync required here, and all the images that you see have been both straight out of camera as well as lightly edited. So you can see what you'd post to Facebook or something. I hope you had a great time. There is a lot more to do here, so we'll be back in the future with more locations and how to take great pictures out on location. I'm Robert Hamm with Robert Hamm Photography. This is my son, also Robert Hamm.
Robert.
I want to thank you for watching and remind you that we'll catch you on the flip side. All right. Nailed it. You ready to play some basketball?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Best.